G'day legends and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to check out some HO goodness from AFX. We've got 4 cars to choose out of, and I'm thinking today it's a Corvette kind of day. So let's crack it open, take a close look at it, and then we're going to put it around our little HO track. Let's go. So let's take a close look at the packaging for the Mega G Plus Corvette by AFX. Now on camera, it's probably coming up as like a slate style grey. It's definitely a silver with a metallic through it, so it's probably a little bit softer on camera. But what an incredible looking car. And this is one of the latest cars from AFX. If you flip around to the back, you got all the instructions, details that you need to know about this. There you go, up to 30% lighter than any other HO chassis, lowest and narrowest chassis ever made, lowest center of gravity, exclusive FN20 advanced power unit, level 30 ground effect magnets. Whew, that's a mouthful. So here it is. We're going to crack it open. We're going to put it around our track next to some of the other goodies from AFX. But I think we need to take a close look out of the package. Let's go. Before we take our little Corvette for a spin, let's do a track walk and show you what our test track looks like. Now, I have built a 4-lane track on top of a very old school tennis table, and I've used pretty much standard corners other than this corner here. And I think there's maybe 1 or 2 other pieces that are extra add-ons to your average AFX set. So I have built a track that you could build at home. It is 4 lanes using very basic straights, corners, which you will find in your own sets. But there it is. There is our test track. It's quite large. It is a little bit technical. It's got some fast straights, but now it's time to put our Corvette to the test. So I've removed the beautiful Corvette from the packaging. Now, let's just quickly talk packaging. I wish these were the press stud style blister packs, because of course I've had to cut this thing open to get out my Corvette, and I do want to put it back in the package for display in the future, but it would be grouse if it was just little press studs. You know, you pull it open, unclip the front, take your car out, play with it, then put it back in. But this is what we've got. So hopefully in the future we'll see some changes, but I'm not too sure about that. But here it is. Look at that. Now, if you haven't purchased an AFX in some years, they have come a long way. This looks as good as the real thing. Beautiful looking Corvette, gold little rims on this sucker. Because it's so small, being HO, or let's say around about the 1/64 scale, all the details on this is super small. Now I'm going to try and hold it on my hand and get nice and close. Now you can see some seats that they're lying down flat, and around the back you can see the engine work. That's a little bit of a paper insert, which is of course the older AFX cars you did not see that in, so this is really cool to see on their newer cars. But look at that, it looks like a proper interior. Even got the blacked out side here for the air scoop. Flip it up underneath, there is your Mega G Plus chassis. Take a look at it. It's actually super clean because I haven't ran it. Let's go around to the back at our quad exhausts with the Matrix number plate. No, there is no active lights on these. Of course, I wish there was, but being so small, I think they can get away with not having lights on this puppy. Will I put some lights on this in the future? Maybe I will. But now I think it's time to put it around our track and see how this little baby performs. Let's go. So let's see how AFX Corvette handles our test track. Now we'll be using the older version of the Corvette next just to do a comparison, but let's give this guy a spin around our little test track here. It is 4 lanes. We are on the inside second lane, if that makes any sense. And it's handling it pretty well. Now I'm going to give it some speed down the straights, and it is quick. And of course, with those magnets, it's making sure it holds on for dear life. Through the corners is really good. We've got some pretty sharp corners, some average bends on our track. So I've made a track that anyone could probably build at home with some standard pieces, and it's doing quite well. Let's do one more lap, and then we'll put it up against the older Corvette and see if there's a big difference. So that's this little beauty. Absolutely stunning. So that's our test sample for today. But let's take the old Corvette stunning in gold, of course, with the paper insert as well. And let's just see how different they are to drive. Now, this one feels, and it's going to sound weird, but it feels a little bit lighter on the trigger. It feels like it wants to get a bit loose around the corners, but it is quick as well. Well, it's pretty hard to say. They both perform really well. So let's just quickly go back to the Corvette. Let's go for 2 quick speed runs. And this one definitely does feel a little bit heavier. Feels like it's got a bit more magnet pull to it. I don't know if it's just how it feels to me or if there's something different with the car itself, but it definitely does feel a little bit different to the gold Corvette, but it's really sticking to the track. One more lap. Let's go one more again. And then we can finish up. So that's wrap on our closer look at this beautiful Corvette. Now, I do have it in blue as well, but we did crack open the metallic silver. It almost looks white on camera, but it's not. Trust me, it's metallic silver. And it did perform well around our test track. And if you are new to AFX, look, they've come a long way. And if you are an AFX fan, you haven't got this one in your collection, like these other beauties, it's definitely a must, and it is very hard to say that these perform poorly. I did put it up against its older brother, the old style Corvette, which absolutely flies, and these guys here also perform really, really well. So check out AFX. Don't sleep on them. They're doing really big things, and I think 2025 is even going to be a bigger year. But that's a wrap. As always, at That's Hot Car on Instagram, YouTube, and all those great places. Be safe, take care, support your local. Bye. So let's check out how AFX Corvette handles our little test track. Let's do a couple of siding laps first before we put it through the ringer. And so far it's handling pretty good. Now, I have cleaned the track. I've cleaned the tyres on this little beast. But I tell you what, with that magnetic downforce that they speak about on the back of the package, it's doing its job. Now, I am coming on and off the trigger, and our track isn't the biggest, but it is pretty challenging. So let's see if I can go a little bit faster, or we almost come off then. Great straight speed. Through the corners, not a problem. This thing's pretty cool. And I do like the colour. I hope the colour is actually coming up pretty good on camera. So that's the Corvette.